Hey everybody, how are you doing? I've received messages, a lot of them asking me how they get over hurt and pain and move on in their relationship. So I've been meaning to share this testimony with you guys for a while, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to do so. Yeah, how do you get over infidelity in a marriage and actually go on to have a great, wholesome, fulfilling marriage? Well, I can only talk from my experience because that's exactly what happened with me and my husband. We have been married for 11 years now, and we did go through a period where we had or suffered from infidelity. And I can say that after that whole process and that whole crazy period, which I call my personal hell, God really did an amazing thing in my marriage. And I want to start off by saying that you know, the world teaches us that once a cheat, always a cheat, and once that happens in your marriage, that's it, it's over. My experience has been that actually I have an amazing home. I give God all the glory. Like my marriage is the greatest blessing that God has given me, and I could have walked away if not but for the grace of God, and that, you know, God was completely leading us through that period. And now both I and my husband are so passionate about sharing our story, so passionate. He is actually one of the people, or he is the person that has really encouraged me to start off this Marriage for Real ministry and be as open as possible and really share with you guys some of the things that we went through, and some of the things that we did to get through it, things the Lord taught us to do to get through it. And you know, we are both so proud of the fact that we had this experience, and we've been able to literally turn the ugly into something so beautiful. You can get past infidelity in your marriage. Not only get past it and actually have a great, amazing marriage. I am a living testimony. I'm not showing off, but I'm just saying it's good. But there's one particular thing that I want to share with you today, and that is forgive her. Now, I'm going to give you the story and tell you what I mean by that. And to do that, I have to tell you a little bit of the story. So after I, you know, really found out what was going on and that there was infidelity, I'd spent a lot of time in prayer and what have you during the period, and God really strengthened me. But after it sort of all came out, and you know, I really found myself at a very low ebb, like super low. But anyway, things worked out. God told me to really go back into the marriage and really embrace it again. And I did wholeheartedly. And, you know, I knew that I had to forgive him in order to press forward. So I worked really hard to do that. I knew that that was something that I had to do. And I focused all my energy on forgiving my husband, and my husband worked with me to help me build the trust again. And, you know, there's a whole other stuff that around that I can teach you about and share with you about. But you know, that was really working. But then I was finding that, you know, a long period in, you know, months and months went past, and I was still having what I thought was panic attacks. I'd be at work, and then suddenly outrage and hurt and just, you know, I can't breathe. I just complete despair would take over me, and it would be like I'm living it all over again. Like I'd go right back to the start, you know, when I felt like I was pressing forward. I couldn't get it because I was like, but I've forgiven him, and I knew that I'd forgiven him. We'd gotten right back into marriage mode by this time, and I really did feel in my heart I'd forgiven my husband. But I was struggling. There was something that I was really struggling with. Not just struggling, I mean, it was affecting me physically. I'd be in the middle of work, and suddenly I'd have to run to the toilet, and I'd just be having an attack. I'd just be going crazy, can't breathe, can't speak, hot sweats, everything, with absolute despair, anger, just everything you can imagine. And I remember phoning my dad one time after work, just sat in the car like, I'm confused, you know, I'm still so hurt. What is it? And my dad was very much like, have you not forgiven him? And I'm like, you know, you really check yourself. And I'm like, I have. I really want my marriage to work. Like, I absolutely adore my husband, you know. I really want it to work. I've forgiven him. I'm sure, I know that I have. So what else is it? So it was so bad that I decided that I was going to go away for a couple of days and really consider what forgiveness was, spend time with God and really check my heart and say, Lord, am I just saying that I've forgiven, or, you know, have I not really? Do I even know what true forgiveness is? So I booked a couple of days at this sort of really quiet sanctuary in Liverpool called Sisters with Jesus. It's just a place where, is it a nunnery where nuns are? I don't know. But anyway, they have rooms and stuff and huge gardens, and it's just quiet all the time. Literally, you get a room, there's no TV, nothing. You turn off your mobile phone and you just spend time, quiet, serene time with the Lord. And I had a sister friend, Lydia, who gave me, you know, some books and stuff on forgiveness. So I went there to really be like, Lord, I want to get to this place of forgiveness. So I prayed, I spent time with the Lord, and I was like, I've forgiven him. I know I've forgiven him. So I remember particularly on the last day that I was there, I was sat and I had this pink book that I literally write everything in my quiet time. When the Lord speaks to me, any particular dreams, things that I'm feeling, I write it in this book, like a journal. So I'm sat on the bed, I'm writing in this book, and I'm writing, you know, I've been through hell and back, but I'm really so grateful God has taken us here, but I'm confused. I really believe that I have forgiven him. So I'm not sure why I still feel so bad. Then I wrote this. Maybe it's not him that I haven't forgiven. Maybe it is her. As I wrote the word her, the murderous hate that came over me, hatred came over me as I wrote the word her. And I realized, wow, I've spent all this time really focusing on forgiving him, that I've not even considered that I have to forgive her. I've not even wanted to think of her, never mind consider forgiving her, you know. So as I wrote this word her, the amount of anger and rage and hatred that I felt within my body let me know that the Lord was telling me that your issue isn't forgiving him. You've done that quite easily because you need to forgive him. You want to hold on to, I've told you to hold on to this marriage, and you know that you have to forgive him, but you've not forgiven her. And I remember having a conversation with the Lord that wasn't very nice. And I was saying to him, Lord, I can't and I don't want to. She destroyed me. She destroyed my home. You know, it's hard enough that I have to press forward and forgive him. Now you want me to forgive her? And the Lord was telling me that I had to. Not only did I have to, he was telling me how I had to do it. This was just for me, and not saying you guys had to do it this way. But once I accepted, I knew that to move forward, to relieve myself of this anger and bitterness, I have to forgive her. So the Lord told me that I need to actually speak out her name and say, such and such, I forgive you and I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. What? That was the hardest sentence I have ever had to say, but I knew I had to do it. So I got on my knees and with absolute anguish, I said, such and such, I forgive you and I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. I said it 3 times. And each time it got easier. And I promise you, the 3rd time I said that, I was so aware of a weight. It was like a rucksack that was on my back being taken off, so aware of it, it lifted off me. This heavy weight of unforgiveness that I'd carried went as I chose to obey God and forgive this woman. Not only forgive her, but love her. Love her. You know? Love her with the love of Jesus Christ. Because that's what the Lord asked us to do, to love our enemies, those ones that have caused us the most pain. Stepped into my home with the help of my husband, but stepped in and hurt me so bad and hurt my family. And the Lord says, forgive her and love her. I came to realize that day that the Lord asked me to do that so that he can step in now. It's like me saying, I relinquish this unto you. I give it unto you. I was then able to walk in freedom, complete freedom. I came back home and we were able to now grow in a fresh marriage, in a new marriage, in a real close, connected marriage, because we've gone through something together. We went through something together and God really used it to do so much, so much in our homes, and told us that our marriage was to be a testimony. God does want us to have great marriages, and even when things terrible happen within your home, he's able to heal. It's funny, we really believe in a God that is able to do all things, and we say that. And somebody could come along with cancer and we can have so much faith that God will heal. But then when it comes to our marriages, we lack faith. When things go wrong, things go terribly wrong sometimes. And then we really feel like there's no way God can heal it. That's it. I'm so hurt, I can never go back. And I actually felt like that. I actually thought that, this was it. That was it. To think that now, years later, my marriage is everything to me. It's such a blessing from God to me and my children and my husband. And it's only because of God. And so today is just really, really highlighting forgiveness. Sometimes you can choose who you want to forgive. I wanted to forgive my husband. That's why that one came easiest to me. Forgiving the girl, that one didn't even enter my head. I'm not even considering, didn't even think about it. And it was killing me. It was killing me. And the Lord had to teach me to get on my knees and speak it out. Such and such, I forgive you. And I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. Powerful, really. Right now.